Okay, hey, what's up? Hello, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Welcome back to the Everlasting Summer, and we're continuing right from where we left off, and that is day four. Let's start with day four. Olga had already left, and there was nobody to force me to go to the lineup. Thus, I can sleep a bit more. I closed my eyes, but seemed like my consciousness had already had its coffee and was ready for a long, productive day. I need to get up. I should plan my day out. After all, I need to at least find out something today. But still, nothing came to my head. Fine, I need to wake up completely and wash myself. On my way to wash hands, I met Xenia. Oh, this is gonna go down real bad because she asked me to come to her after lunch and I didn't go because I was caught up in the game. I think, yeah, I was caught up in the game. I'm not really sure what I was caught up in, but I was caught up in something after lunch and I totally forgot. Even the game character forgot about it. It's not that I forgot about it, it's that I couldn't control it. I just couldn't run away from the situation to just meet her. So what got you up so early? Anything wrong with being up early? She looked at me as if I had insulted her. No, nothing, just curious. None of your business. Gosh, Xenia isn't very sympathetic, even when she's in a good mood. But today she just looked furious. The cold water perked me up. The fog in my head dissipated and my thoughts started arranging themselves. Curiously, I started to worry about finding a good place in the canteen more than about finding answers. I brushed my teeth and was going to leave when a quiet sound wafted past my ears. It's probably a squirrel or some other animal. I heard another sound, this time a bit farther. I didn't hear it. I walked 10 meters along the path searching for the source. Nobody, just the morning forest. I returned to the washstands and saw Miku, who was looking for something in the grass. Noticing me, she smiled and jumped up to me. Oh, hello, good morning. I accidentally scattered my tooth powder, just trying to gather it all back up. Oh, what? The dewy grass didn't seem to be helping matters. Are you sure that's a good idea? Well, why? What else can I do? I don't have any more. It was the last I had. She pouted. I don't know why I right clicked. She pouted like a child who had just had her favorite toy taken from her. Here, I'll give you mine. I dug into my bag. No tooth powder there. Strange. Didn't I just put it there? I walked away for just a minute and now it's gone. Listen, it looks like I have forgotten it. I didn't want to tell her that it had just gone missing. Knowing the sensitivity of this girl, it was safe to assume that vanishing household goods would impress her so much that her brain would reset itself in order to avoid overheating. Well, I'll be off. Yeah, cheers. Visit me in the music club. I'm still alone there, but I. Miko's voice faded in the freshness of the summer morning far behind me. Getting back to the leader's cabin, I took my cell phone. See, this is before I start with this line. There's a bit confusion. Why do people in a conversation walk away before ending it? Like, for example, right now, as Miku was saying something, I'm gonna assume that Simeon started walking right as she started saying something, and he just not ignored it, but he didn't reply and he just went off. I don't know why people do that, and I haven't met someone who does that, but I've read it like 1,000 times in books and some shit. Like, he just walked away and I can hear her screaming my name. I can hear her asking me out and all that shit. I've read it in books. I've seen it in movies. Like, just finish the conversation and then you can walk away. I don't know how it makes you seem cool and all by just walking away without finishing the conversation, but it's super weird and super unhealthy to do that. So please, if you're one of the people that walks away before ending the conversation or even walks away at the very last sentence or a line of a conversation, just don't do that. Just wait for the conversation to end, greet each other, and then just go. Even if you're in a hurry, just at least greet and go rather than just walking away. Like, Simeon did greet, but you started walking before she could complete her sentence. So that's really not rude, but that's kind of not something I would look into. If someone did that to me, I won't want to talk to that person ever again. So yeah, right here I won't talk to Semyon, but he's a handsome looking dude. So who knows? Getting back to the leader's cabin, I took my cell phone and looked at the battery meter. Enough power for a day, maybe even less. Of course, it won't help me so much in here, but still, finding a charger in the 80s would mean inventing it. I was going to head. How do you have battery 2 days past? Not 2 days, 1 day past when you came here. I think it's 2 days past, right? Day 4. So yeah, 2 days past, you came here and you still have enough battery for the day. Like, I can't even have enough battery for 6 hours without even using it. I don't know what phone you're using. Oh, this was back in 2013, right? Yeah, okay, then it's fine. It was Lena. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. I was taken back a bit. The events of the previous day were still fresh in my memory, but I didn't really want to speak about them. You're probably looking for Olga, aren't you? Well, no. I mean, yes. Lena was her usual self, shy and easily embarrassed. The dance on the pier, now it seemed no more than a dream. She's not here, I'm sorry. Okay then, I'll go. Okay. When Lena left, I thought that I'd been too cold towards her, so I decided to be nicer on our next encounter. You couldn't do that from the beginning, come on man, dude. Still, regardless, the morning was shining and beautiful. The bright sun was shining over the space and time-displaced pioneer camp, Sovinok, warming its residents and filling them with energy to spend the day productively. Or in my case, to waste it in futile efforts to find an explanation for everything happening here. There was an unusually large crowd near the canteen. Of course, there was no other place in the camp that pioneers loved as much as the canteen, but why were they all crowding on the porch? Okay, I came closer to find out what was going on. It looked like all the camp had gathered at the porch. There were all the familiar girls, Olga and Electronic. They were having a lively discussion. I drew closer. Semyon, have you seen Shurik today? Nope, what's the matter? We haven't been able to find him since early morning. Disappearing pioneers, well, that's something new. But he was with you yesterday. She was talking to Electronic. Yep, he was. So you woke up this morning and he wasn't anywhere to be found. No. Why didn't you come to me immediately? Well, I thought that he got up early and went to wash up or something. Did he mention anything yesterday? Interjected Slavia. For example, they was going somewhere, for instance. Nope. What exactly is so horrifying about that? It's only 9 a.m. He might have decided to go for a walk. You don't know Shurik? She looked over at me seriously. But no, I don't. But I didn't see anything suspicious in this situation. Okay, let's stop panicking. We'll find him. How could he miss breakfast? Uliana grinned. Exactly, time to eat anyway. Oh, was Alyssa? Okay, I don't see Alyssa. The pioneers proceeded into the canteen. Yet again, I had no choice where to fit in. The only free place was at the canteen with Alyssa and Uliana. I hope Alyssa doesn't get offended for me not attending her show, because what I was gonna actually do was I was actually gonna go with the part when I'm gonna spend some time with Alyssa, but then when I spend some time with Lena, that got me into more questions about who Lena is, and I have a very bad suspicion that there is something like a split personality or a ghost overtaking stuff going on with Lena. Like she's lost a sister whose name is Rina or something like that. I'm not really sure, but there's something behind that. And when I saw that, and also a really good, healthy time spent with Lena, like dancing on the pier and all that stuff, that just made me not go back to, spending time with Alyssa. And I hope she doesn't get offended by that. And she pointed at the chair next to her. I sat down. Alyssa looked as usual. Didn't seem like she was going to start a fight over me missing the performance I had promised to come to see before. Well, if she doesn't feel like talking about it, then why would I? Aren't you gonna get your food? Good idea. I hadn't thought about that. Today's breakfast didn't look much different from yesterday's, but it looked more appetizing. Or maybe I was just hungry. Or maybe I was eager to finish it off as soon as possible to avoid yet another Uliana prank. Wanna go to the beach with us today? When? Right after breakfast. Generally speaking, relaxation wasn't on my agenda today. But if I was going to spend my time thinking, why shouldn't I do it while getting a suntan? Sure, why not? Ah, cool. She smiled nicely. I bet you're planning another prank. No, not at all. Ulena waved her hands at me. She sure is. Lisa grinned. She's always like that. No way. I think she's right. Nobody believes me. Ulena took her tray of dirty dishes and stood up. Enjoy your meal, she said in such a way which left no doubt. Nobody, nothing good awaits me today at the beach. Me and Alyssa were left alone. I guess I shouldn't go with you after all. Why is that? Well, I've got something to do. And what exactly would that be? She looked in my eyes and I couldn't even find an appropriate excuse. I don't even have a swimsuit. Try mine. You think it will fit me? Give it a try. I don't think it's worth the effort. Don't be a wimp. I'll find you some swimming trunks. Those words only added to my fear. Wait for me by the canteen. I'll be back soon. Okay. There's nothing wrong with waiting for her, is there? Oh, if okay. I know something's gonna come up that's just gonna make me choose between whether I want to wait here or whether I want to go with the person. Unless and until it's Lena, I'm not leaving. It doesn't matter if it's Olyana, it doesn't matter if it's Slavia or Olga or Electronic or Shurik is found dead somewhere. I don't care. I'm gonna spend time with Alyssa because I should have done that yesterday and I didn't do that yesterday and I really feel a bit bad about it. And yeah, I'm gonna do that now. Finishing my breakfast, I left. Of course, Shurik dead would be a more tragic thing, but I'm just stating facts. Finishing my breakfast, I left the building and sat on the stairs. Pioneers, all having their own business, hurried past me one by one. No one stopped by me. No one even looked in my direction. It seemed they didn't consider me a stranger, but exactly the opposite. Just another teenager, their age, their comrade, I could say. I caught myself thinking that I had started to consider this camp and its inhabitants with not as much caution as I had on the first day. Indeed, Elisa was back in a couple of minutes. Okay, I thought I had a choice here, but thank you. Thank you, game. Ready? Ready for what? She gave me the trunks. Though you hardly could call them trunks. They looked like pink boxes decorated with butterflies and flowers. Actually, they were boxes. I'm almost afraid to ask, but where did you get these? Too scared to put them on? Well, I have not the slightest intention of doing so. I appreciated her joke, but wasn't going to make myself a laughing stock. Put them on, she said roughly. Why don't you try them on instead of me? I think the color of the swimsuit would set off your eyes very nicely. Let's make a bet. Oh god, another bet. I had no desire to accept her bets. No thanks. Alright, you either go to the beach wearing them or you swim naked. Do I have a choice? I'll better go naked rather than wearing pink boxes. Weighing the pros and cons, even the second option seems better than the first. I'm not planning to go anywhere at all. Then I'll tell everyone that you left these trunks in my cabin. Why would I do that? How should I know? She burst into laughter. I didn't want to argue with Alyssa, so I decided to go to the beach in the end. But not in those flamboyant trunks. Okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Don't be late. She ran off after saying that. I dragged my feet to the leader's cabin to get a towel and hopefully find something like trunks. Olga was waiting for me in the room. Oh god, Olga, don't give me work, please. Did you hear anything about Shurik? Same as half an hour ago. I walked to my bed and took a towel. Are you going somewhere? Yes, to the beach. Wait, do you have swimming trunks? You came here without any luggage, as I recall. Strange the fact didn't seem to surprise her during our first encounter. Sure. No. So what will you wear? Good question. What? I don't know. Wait a minute. She walked to the wardrobe and unlocked the drawer. In a moment, she had a pair of normal black trunks. Where did she get those? More importantly, why? Someone from the previous session might have forgotten them. Consider all the strange things in this camp. It wasn't really surprising to find men's swimming trunks in Olga's room. Thanks. The trunks were just my size. I got changed behind the cabin and went to the beach. A lot of pioneers had already gathered there, but I recognized only Alyssa. I'll just be Okay, sorry about that. A lot of pioneers had already gathered there, but I recognized only Alyssa and Uliana. Come here. I walked over to them and sat on the sand. I see you found something better. She stared at my trunks and smirked. As you can see, come on, let's swim. I don't want to. Maybe later. I was not a fan of swimming. Suit yourself. The girl turned into the water. Why did I come here? Why am I not out looking for answers? Why should I care about it now? Sovianok seemed normal. Certainly, a lot of strange things have happened to me during these 3.5 days, but none of them taken separately seemed at all supernatural, especially since I didn't get any closer to finding so much as a clue. On the contrary, everything that has happened has only confused me more. What alternatives do I have? I won't get any truth from the local residents, though I doubt they even know it. Should I try to leave this place? But how far can I walk, considering that I don't even know where I am? It turns out that my only option is to wait. After some time, the girls came back. Ulina held something in her hand. Look, I looked up and saw a crayfish. Just a normal crayfish. God, can you just... This camera angle is just bugging me. Ulina lay next to me and started to torment it. Leave the poor animal alone. Why? It's just a crayfish. So what? It has the right to live too. I'll rip its claws off and ask the cook to boil it for dinner. As if we had nothing else to eat. I looked at Alyssa. She seemed to be totally uninterested in Uliana's fun with the poor sea creature. Tell her, what's wrong? It's a crayfish, it deserves it. What? It looked like the girls missed their lessons on nature in primary school and lacked empathy for the environment. Give it. I snatched the crayfish off Uliana. Suit yourself. I was a little surprised she didn't resist. I looked into the eyes of the poor animal. They didn't express anything at all, but I thought that if I could speak, I would certainly be outraged. It could speak, it would certainly be outraged. Maybe it would even go to the UN Convention of Human Rights. To tell the truth, I wasn't sure that would help. I took the cavefish to the river and set it free. Never mind, I'll catch more. There are plenty of them here, said Uliana. No doubt about it, I mumbled. Time passed and I was getting sleepy. I fell asleep. I don't remember when I was dreaming about what I was dreaming about, if I was dreaming at all, but I woke up when somebody shook my shoulder. Olga stood next to me. Did you come to swim too? I asked, still half asleep. No, it's almost time for lunch and we still can't find Shurik. And then why are you dressed in a swimsuit if you didn't come to swim? The leader stared, standing me in a wet swimsuit. And I wanted to look for him. It seems like I'm the only pioneer in this entire camp. And I was sincerely outraged. Every time I was getting clearer that Olga considered me her errand boy to be used like a slave. Or vice versa. If I came to you, then I want you to help me. Why exactly me? However, after giving it some thought, I decided to agree. After all, my shoulders and back got sunburned while I was sleeping and searching for Shurik. Searching for Shurik would let me get acquainted with unexplored locations of the camp. Okay, it was not exactly right to wander around wearing only swimming trunks, so I should get changed first. 10 minutes later, I stood outside Olga's cabin deciding where to go. Don't give me the map. Give me the map. Gonna look for the bus stop. Wait. What is this? If Shurik was hiding anywhere in the camp, he would have been found by now, of course, assuming he wants to be found. So I hardly think I can help them. No. I don't want to not help. Let's go to the bus stop. The bus stop seemed to be a fine choice. A strange thought came across me. Perhaps Shurik is in the same situation as me. So he decided to run away from the camp, maybe by the fort and bus. It could really turn out to be true if he came here by accident too. Although the chances of that are quite slim. But you never know. What if the bus would really come? However, I could hardly believe in that. Indeed, I spent a couple of minutes waiting at the bus stop, made sure that there were no signs of Shurik or anyone else here, and headed back to the camp. Ooh, somebody rushed out from behind the gates and bumped into me. The impact was strong, so I staggered. Miku stood in front of me and dropped her bruised forehead. Oh, sorry. It's alright, it's my fault. I was going to the music club but got lost and thought about a new song. Thinking of the lyrics and music. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying this lie. I didn't realize how I got here. So don't you have to apologize? So you don't have to apologize. Sorry. Her words per minute rate obviously exceeded the recognition limits of my brain. I made an attempt to retreat promptly. Sure, gotta go. Oh wait, I wanted to leave as usual without having to listen to her, but Pico grabbed my hand. Her grasp gave me the creeps as I got a clear vision of an agonizing execution by another rap session. Can you help me a little, please? Just a teensy weensy bit. That definitely wasn't on my to-do list today. Well, I'd be glad to, but it's pretty please. Miko looked at me with such puppy dog eyes that my heart started to melt. She totally wasn't going to let go of my hand. And what help exactly do you need? You'll accompany me. I can't manage to compose on my own. I can sing or play. I can't do both at the same time. Even our virtuoso has a weakness. Well, I can't really play an instrument. Never mind that. I'll show you everything. Come on, let's go. On the other hand, I'm not losing anything. However, she dragged me along with her. Probably nothing good will come of this. But the only way to get her off me is to wrestle my hand out of hers. But that wouldn't be very nice. Yep, it wouldn't be. Nothing bad will happen after all. Probably. Within a minute, we were already standing in the music club. Miko took a guitar. Well, here, have a look. She sat down and started playing. I tried to follow her hands. The tune seemed quite simple. It seemed quite easy to repeat it. Got it? This is the exact same with the Lisa, but kind of. Let's try. I took the guitar and started playing. That didn't really work out. Let me show you one more time. She played much better than me. Looking at Miko, I wondered. Of course, she was a chatterbox. She was naive and clumsy. However, she was extremely talented in music. Try again. I managed much better the second time. Oh, that's much better. She smiled. It wasn't hard in fact, just repeat the same notes over and over. Just don't lose track. Start on my command. Okay? Ready? Go. It was a song in Japanese. Frankly speaking, I didn't understand a single word, but Miko's singing was quite good. Is it this one? Yes, it's pretty good. In fact, it was outstanding. Yeah, it is. She put that heart into every note, every word. Yeah, music probably is the very thing for her to dedicate her life to. It seemed like it wasn't her who chose the music, but the music that has chosen her. The last half an hour presented Miko in a completely different light. Oh, thank you. Did you like it? I finally managed it with you. On my own, it's not so good. I either mess up with the words or miss the strings, and it's just perfect with you. Thank you so much. You really have a talent. Just to play like that without any preparation. Nope, it seems I changed my opinion about us too hastily. Thanks for the song. Gotta go. See you. Thanks for the rest of our words who are left behind the door. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Just stop doing that. It's annoying. Like, why are you being so rude? What devil is horsing on your mind? Like, just stop doing that shit. I leaned on the wall of the club cabin and sighed. Miko's song was still playing in my mind. Thank you. I have a phone that's vibrating. Just looking around the map a bit to figure out who lives where. And I'm gonna start off with the Boathouse. Maybe Shurik decided to pick up stones near the water. In the worst case, I'll find his corpse. But I'm sure that it won't end up that way. Really hope so. I was crossing the square when somebody called out to me. Wait! Alyssa came up and smiled. I immediately sensed a trap. Where are you going? I am searching for Shurik. Olga asked me to. And how is it? Exciting. She looked intently into my eyes and I turned away awkwardly. Not really. When you know a pioneer is missing, surely you're not freaking out over such a minor thing. What do you mean? Only a few hours have passed. Maybe he just lost track of time while having a walk. Certainly, I'd had the same idea, but I wasn't telling her that. Yes, that's true, but who knows what could have happened. Let me help you with it. With what? I got suspicious. With looking for Shurik. Oh, but I can do it. Oh, come on. She smiled at me, but there was something malevolent in that smile. Thank you for using the word. I had no idea what that was. Naturally, her smile was cute enough, but it really seemed to me like there was something behind it. Well, if you insist, since I could not understand what's on her mind, I had no real reason to refuse. But before we go, I have to get one thing from home. Okay, I'll wait for you. You're actually serious about just standing there. Let's go. Okay. Oh, this is where she lives. Oh, this is a devil's incarnation. We approached Alyssa's cabin. It would be just like all the other cabins. It's if not for the Jolly Roger. Sorry, what on the door? Oh, that thing. By the way, Ulena is my roommate. Okay. Oh God, what is this thing? We entered the cabin. The complete chaos inside really reminded me of my old flat, though I thought of it as old. In general, I would imagine a girl's room differently. Snow white sheets, walls, floor, and ceiling shining spotless. But 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 when you but when you consider it that the two most exemplary pioneers are living here, we just stood silently for some time. And what did you need to get? Huh? It seems like interrupted Alyssa's thinking. Yeah, it's not here actually. Wait here, I'll be back in a minute. She smiled and ran out. She seems really flaky today. I began to examine her room. I wouldn't say that there had been an explosion, it was just a decent mess. I wouldn't say it's a decent, it's just a bed that is messy. I think everything else is quite fine. Well, at least by looking at all this mess created in one pioneer session, I can surely say that I'm not the messiest person in the world. The decoration of my apartment took years to be completed. I wasn't thinking about anything in particular, was just looking around the room. Posters of Soviet artists, some books on the shelves, various household items. Can't you guess from the artist which year it is currently? Like, can't you tell that this is from the 80s? Oh no, that's from the 90s, so this can't be 90s. Oh, this is from, not this, I'm just saying randomly that this is from 2011, so we are in the present or something like that. And then I realized that everything is wrong. Something will happen soon. Something bad. Why did Alyssa live here? Oh, I forgot that it's Oleana's room as well. All here again, there was something I had to discover. My gut told me that it's dangerous to stay here. I went to the door and tried to open it. Locked. What a surprise. How did she manage to quietly lock me in? I don't know what's on her mind, but I need to get out of here. I went to the window, opened it, and climbed down. Now I can go and take care of business. Or I chose the second option and waited. What is the reason she had me locked up? I wanted to know what was happening. Plus, I really wanted to see Alyssa's face when she finds out that her room was empty. And I'll be right back. Just I'm sorry, that was my grandmother calling. Okay, let's get back to. I wanted to know what was happening. Plus, I really wanted to see Alyssa's face when she finds out her room empty. I hid in the bushes next to the house and waited. After some time, I heard footsteps. Alyssa and Olga came to the house. You'll see everything for yourself. She opened the door and went in. A few seconds later, she ran back out. You know, Alyssa's face looked as if she'd won the mouse catching competition, but at the last moment found out that it's not a real Olympic sport. So he just disappeared? Olga asked skeptically. I did the right thing by closing the window after myself. Oh no, you know, I understand everything, Alyssa. I don't know what's the so I don't know how to say that, but yeah. So I'm just gonna say, Alyssa, you and your roommate every time the same thing. Haven't you had enough yet? But it's true, really. One story after another. Semyon in your cabin, Semyon harassing you. Why do you keep lying? It's horrible. Alyssa seemed really upset, and to my surprise, was not trying to argue. On the one hand, it was funny to look at, but on the other, I felt a bit sorry for Alyssa. She deserves it, though. Yeah, she does. Alida finally finished scolding her and left. Alyssa was mad. She clenched her fists and trembled. Her face was Her face was flushed. It seemed to me that she was going to explode. I sat in the bushes and laughed quietly. However, I was wondering what was in her mind, and I came out of my hiding place, not afraid of being beaten. So, what exactly did you want to show the leader? Me? Alyssa turned and looked at me in disbelief. After a moment, surprise turned to anger. You. What about me? She calmed down a bit. I wanted to take revenge. For what? Really, what did I do to this girl to warrant revenge? You beat me in cards. What a fantastic reason. No doubt. I see. Maybe I should apologize to you. I asked sarcastically. Screw you. She went into the house, slamming the door. I wasn't angry at Alyssa. In the end, I'd expected her to do something like this. Anyway, I got through it without consequences. I was very lucky. Her confusion and embarrassment just made my day. Chucking, I left Alyssa's cabin, which was about to become my death trap. I went for lunch with mixed feelings, with a sense of accomplishment and with a realization of time wasted. The canteen was crowded. I couldn't stay unnoticed. Olga called me. Semyon, come sit with us. The camp leader, Slavia, and Electronic were sitting at the four-seat table. I nodded and went to get my food. This time I had to spend several minutes in the queue. Today's menu didn't really differ from other days' menus. The dishes looked the same, at least. When I sat at the table, I wished bon appetit to everyone. Olga said, So, what are you thinking? About what? We searched for Shurik all around. It's known and he's nowhere to be found. I took a note of the rhyme, but didn't want to point it out. What? All around, it's known and he's nowhere to be found. Oh, that's a nice line. That's a nice line. I took a note of the rhyme, but didn't want to point it out. We looked all over the camp. I went all around the neighboring forest. Olga looked at me. And I helped too. We must call the police. Maybe we should wait until the evening. I asked lazily. Maybe he went home. That can't be. Shurika lives thousands of miles away. By train? The nearest station, she paused, is far off. Oh, so she doesn't want to let me know where that thing is. Now it was getting interesting. Every time the conversation reached a point concerning ways I could leave Servina, all the camp inhabitants started changing the subject. How far is far? Really far. The camp leader looked at me, indicating with her expression that asking more questions was not advised. So we should go deeper into the forest. Maybe he got lost. So I really want this to be real. Like all this camp thing to be really good and Gucci. But I have a real bad feeling it's gonna go bad very, very soon. Shurik always takes a compass, chimed in Electronic. I wonder what else could be found in his magic vest, assuming he has one. If I were to get lost in the forest, a compass would be of no real use. Police. We should call the police in the evening. Not right now, at least. So you'll do it later. They were all silent. We should be able to find him before evening. We still have time. If he actually got lost, we have no time to lose. We cannot be sure. Then where is he? Where? There was some truth to the camp leader's words. Hiding the whole day just like that is suspicious. Why would he do that? Shurik seemed to me to be quite a serious pioneer. Maybe they're just testing me, that whether I am loyal, to finding Shurik or something like that. I'm not really sure, but I have a feeling like that, something like that. Uliana would have been a better fit for this behavior. So there is a good reason to believe that he was gone. All that can be done has already been done. We'll just have to wait. Slavia, Electronic, and Olga looked at me sorrowfully but didn't say a word. I finished my lunch, took the tray back, and left the canteen. It's still the first half of the day. What now? The camp was drifting off for an afternoon nap. Only Jenda stared at me through his glasses. Of course, he was standing somewhere else, but I had a feeling that he was constantly watching me. I bet he knows where Shurik is hiding. He just can't say anything. The disappearance of the Cybernetics Club's leader made me think maybe it's got something to do with my case. Oh, Pioneer. The nurse stood in front of me. I looked at her curiously. Go and take my place in the infirmary. I have an urgent call. Somebody is injured. Me? Yes, you. Take the keys. What do I have a feeling Lena is there? The nurse threw me the keys and ran away. Why me? Isn't there anyone else in this camp? What exactly should I be doing? I think this is a bit weird. Even yesterday, she asked me to do, it just asked me in particular to do the things, and now again, what if something happens? Or what do I do now? I miss my chance to refuse. I stood in front of the door uncertainly. On one hand, there is nothing to worry about. I'll spend half an hour or so here and she'll be back. But what if someone comes for actual help with a broken leg or a head injury? I began to worry too much. I hope that there are no injuries more serious than bruises and scratches in this camp. But at the same time, I could not shake the idea that in a serious situation, I would be absolutely useless. I don't even know how to perform CPR. A magazine on the nurse table caught my attention. A good way to relax, I guess. This is labeled Soviet fashion. The publication date or month were absent. However, this was not a surprise. There were much stranger things happening here. I didn't know much about Soviet magazines. Maybe they actually didn't have publication dates on them. I think they do. Models dressed in old-fashioned clothes stared at me from the glossy pages. Nowadays, nobody would wear such clothes. I smirked. I wonder if Slavia, for example, considered this fashionable. I can only imagine that would happen if she appeared in my time wearing something like this. I imagine we are all walking in hand in hand. I'm wearing my coat with the hood, and she's dressed in a lavish dress covered with lace and things. Seems like I'm already imagining Slavia in my world with me. And not only Slavia. This dress better suits Uliana. This cute sarafan would look good on Alyssa. The skirt and cardigan would look nice on Lena. Oh, I have a bad feeling they're gonna make me choose between some of these people by the end. And I don't want that. I don't want that. I want all of them. I want all of us to become good friends, just create a group, an orgy or something. If only they could be real. Oh, I saw them, heard them, could even touch them. But still, they are here, and I simply don't belong in this place. It's alien to me. And I'm just waiting for a chance to get out of here. Waiting because nothing is up to me anymore. I sighed, put my head on the table, and fell asleep. I was awoken by the noise of the door opening. Lena. I knew it. Lena stood at the door. The nurse isn't here. I'll come back later. I'm substituting for her. Since I am responsible for pioneers' lives, I should do it with full responsibility. Although, in fact, I was just afraid of something bad happening because of me. Any health complaints? I tried to give Lena the most professional smile I could in order to not confuse her. Nothing special, just a little headache. Let's do this. Some painkillers, maybe. Of course, I wasn't aware where to find required medicines, so it took me a while to find them. Finally, I handed a metamizole tablet to Lena. Thanks, she smiled. That was completely unexpected, and I lost touch with reality, staring at her. What? Lena turned awkward in an instant. Listen, I've been wondering, do you like this? I don't know what got into me, but I grabbed the magazine from the table and showed her that picture of a skirt and cardigan, which would really suit Lena in my opinion. Maybe I went completely nuts, thinking about all the girls being in my world. Maybe I wanted to distract myself instead of just waiting for the nurse to come back. Lena looked at the picture. Yes, I guess. Stuff like this in fashion. I guess. She got confused and started blushing. What do you ask? Really, why? Should I go with it? Oh, I'm gonna save it. Like right here. To see if that gives me a negative response. Thank you. It's alright, I'm just being completely honest. We were quiet for some time. How's your headache? Much better, thank you. Okay, so it's not over the top to say a girl, to tell a girl she looks really good in a dress that I imagined her to be in. How is that not awkward? Like you imagining someone in a dress in your mind and telling them, hey, I imagined you right now with this dress on and I think you look gorgeous. I don't know how that's normal, but that's why I saved. So you smile, I'll be off. Good luck. Lina went out and continued to look through the magazine. After a while, somebody knocked at the door again. Seems that the infirmary is the most popular place to go. Suddenly, I decided to roleplay a nurse, just a male version, and said, come in. The door opened and Uliana entered the room. Wow, did I miss the moment when I decided to start knocking? Anything wrong with me knocking? She frowned. Why does it hurt? Why on earth would I tell you? Where is the nurse? Right in front of you. I imposingly crossed my legs and looked questioningly at her. I'd better go. It'd be better to die than to be treated by you. She smiled mischievously. You didn't even let me try. Uliana thought for a moment. Though you could give me some pills. What's bothering you? It took her some time to reply. A heavy stomach. Sure, it's not an empty head. I muttered under my breath. What did he say? Nothing. Give me a second. I found the pills in the first door I opened. Thank you, doctor. She smiled cheerfully. Watching Uliana, I could not imagine how such an optimistic and active child could have any health problems. She gave me a baleful look. No, I left everything for you. Uliana ran out of the infirmary and slammed the door. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I can do that. Good food poisoning from the canteen. Considering the local cuisine, it's not that surprising. Maybe, she smirked. I see you're still alive and kicking. Well, I'm not complaining. Bye. He ran out of the infirmary, slamming the door. Okay. Again, I went back to studying Soviet fashion trends. Time passed by, but the nurse was still absent. I wasn't searching for Shurik. I wasn't looking for any clues concerning my situation. I was just sitting and flipping through a magazine. Just for a moment, I felt quite satisfied with the situation. So far, everything that has happened here could be seen as just a trip to a summer camp, and if nothing changes anytime soon, then I can start worrying. Again, somebody knocked on the door. Did I miss the outbreak of an epidemic? Slavia was standing at the doorway. I really think this is a not a test, but it's like what was that movie where I'll think of it. I'll tell you later. Oh hi, isn't nurse here? No, she's not here. I'm taking over for today. Great. I'd like. She hesitated. What? By the way, Simeon, Slavia said and looked intently at me. What? It seems like I lost my keys. Have you seen them anywhere? Sure I have. Yes, here. I found them near the canteen yesterday. I wanted to return that to you, but forgot about it. I was really bad at lying. My cheeks were red, my eyes were wandering around, and hands were constantly shaking. Here. I was ready preparing myself for an appropriate scolding, but Slavia only took the keys and said, Thanks. So, what have you come for? I really needed to change the subject. Does anything hurt? No, it's nothing. Strange. I wouldn't even think that such an open person as Slavia would keep something quiet. If there's something bothering you, tell me. That's why I'm here, to treat people. I smiled widely. No. I mean, yes, but no. Hearing that made anything possible, even division by 0. So, how can I help you? You? I guess you can't. She smiled and was going to leave, but suddenly stopped. However, could you step out for a minute? Why not? Okay. I stepped out the infirmary and leaned against the wall, and I wonder what might she be doing. Something that I can't even see. After a minute, the door opened and Slavia came out. She was carrying a small bundle. Of course, I'm going to ask about the bundle. What is it? Nothing. She blushed. Thank you. You're welcome. Is it the sanitary pads? I'm gonna guess that's the thing. Slavic, I'm not sure about the age of Semyon. I think he's 17, 16. I'm not really sure. Slavic ran away. Seems like I shouldn't have asked. Maybe I will not ask. Do not ask about that bundle. Good luck. I shouted after her. Thank you. She gave me one of her sweet smiles before leaving. I looked at the time. It was getting late. I'd read the magazine backwards and forwards, but the nurse still wasn't here. Alyssa. I really like you, but come on, please. Just give me a break. This one day without you. Like, actually, I did get yesterday without you, but still fine. Suddenly, the door burst open and Alyssa rushed inside. She looked at me piercingly. What are you doing here? Sitting, I admitted honestly. Okay, then. It's even better without the nurse, she murmured. Are you sick? I asked acidly. Alyssa didn't answer and came closer to me. Move over. Why? So I can open the drawer. Isn't it obvious? What for? She got angry. None of your business. But I'm kinda in charge here. She gave it a moment's thought. Then give me some activated carbon. Stomachache? Yeah. She grinned sharply. I got the feeling there was something wrong here. Yeah, I'm gonna give her. But you never know. What if she really has an ache? Okay. I reached into the drawer and got her a packet of activated carbon. Thanks. She wrestled it in front of my hand, from my hand, and ran away. It was 15 minutes till dinner, and the nurse still isn't back. I guess that leaving the place like this won't do. She asked me to look after it after all, and who knows what might happen if I leave. Though who would want to steal anything from here? Except for Alyssa stealing activated carbon. He opened the magazine again and began flipping through it for the nth time. The fashions of 80s weren't that fun anymore. Yawning got me several times. It was already 6 o'clock, so dinner has already started. Of course, I had to be on the watch till the end, but my stomach seemed to have its own opinion on the matter. I stood up and steadily headed to the exit. A rustling sound came from behind the door. Could it be someone else who got poisoned, broke their arm, or something worse? I sighed heavily and pulled the doorknob. However, there was no one out there. Seems like it was just my imagination. I returned inside and instantly looked, and just noticed that something had changed in the infirmary. To be precise, an apple had appeared on the table. Wait, was it not before there? Yeah, it was not before there. Where from? The fruits can't just materialize from thin air by themselves, can they? Though in this camp anything is possible. Chances are someone just brought it here. Maybe Lena wanted to thank me, given that she is all shy and... But wait, how could she just slip past me like that? Lena wouldn't climb through a window after all. So there must be something else. I was suddenly overwhelmed by fear. What if the apple is poison? Why would someone complicate things when I'm here totally helpless and can be killed way more easily? But it might be the apple which Eve tasted in the Garden of Eden. In the case, I certainly shouldn't eat it. The same second, my stomach reminded me it was there by rumbling traitorously. However, it would take time to close the infirmary, to reach the canteen to get food. My stomach is about to eat itself. There is nothing wrong, I guess. Once again, I tried to remember if the apple was here before. In the end, it must have appeared from somewhere. Maybe it got here through the window. The shutter was slightly open, so someone must have reached in and put it here. Nothing serious, however. Okay. Again, I'm gonna save it here. I have a bad feeling something's about to go down. Eat the apple! Finally, hunger prevailed and I started chewing on the ripe green apple with gusto. Its taste seemed normal, though I don't think that even the strongest poison can be tasted. But it's too late to think about that. It was time to go for dinner. Along the way, I ran into Electronic. How is it going? Did you find Shurik? No, still no sign of him. Don't worry, we'll find him. I tried to cheer him up. Too much time has passed. I'll just keep on searching. What about dinner? No, finding Shurik is more important, he muttered thoughtfully. I left him at the crossroads and wished him good luck. Pioneers crowded in the doorway. I quickened my pace, trying not to be the last one in the line, at least for today. And I was lucky, in the far corner was an absolutely empty table. I took my dinner quickly and sat at the table. Tonight's dinner consisted of fruit soup and a pair of buns. This set surprised me at first, but the taste was actually nice. I concentrated on eating. Lena, let's go here. Look, 3 free chairs. Yes, okay, of course, thank you. Lena and Miko stood in front of me. Are these taken? Wondered Lena. No, take a seat. Of course, I wish she were alone. Thank you. As soon as Lena said, the senior jumped out from behind her back. I'll sit here. There are no places left, she said, putting her tray on the table and sitting down, not even waiting for my answer. Sure, make yourself at home, I muttered sorrowfully. What? Nothing. To tell the truth, I wanted to reduce the whole company to just Lena, though neither Miku nor Xenia were causing much trouble, except one was too talkative and the other was too arrogant. But nevertheless, they were absolutely harmless, especially comparing to some others I could name. Alyssa and Uliana. Oh, seems like I forgot my key. Don't worry, take mine. What key? Take mine? I was surprised by Miku's short reply. Do you live together? Of course, didn't you know? Together? No, together. Our cabin is the nearmost. The farthest from here. The last one. I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody told me that Lena lived with Slavia. Or with Xenia at most. Even electronic. But silent and shy. But silent and shy Lena and excessively talkative Miko as a pair, that's really a surprise. It is. Did you find Shurik? It's strange that Xenia is disturbed by someone's problems. No. Surely he's at the village buying cigarettes or vodka. She snorted. Village. At the moment of the conversation got much more interesting. Got a problem with villages? Xenia looked amazed. You mean there's a village nearby? I think so, she said uncertainly. I looked at Lena and Miku, but they were busy with the meals and did not pay attention to our conversation. You mean you don't know exactly? Why should I care? Xenia stared at a dish. But there must be something nearby. Listening. I don't know. Will you let me eat? Seems like I won't get anything from her. Though there is a chance that she really doesn't know. The remaining time was spent listening to Miku talking about some nonsense. I was just going slowly mad in silence. God. Obviously, the first thing I did after getting out after that was inhale a great breath of fresh air. The sun was setting. I decided to take a walk. It's highly unlikely that I would find anything more exciting to do for the rest of the evening. That way something interesting could arise quite unexpectedly. I was approaching the square when I heard a loud bang. It seemed like something had exploded. I was paralyzed. I'm in a hostile environment, not knowing the rules and laws of this place. It would be better for me to run, but at the same time I was curious. Probably I would have just kept standing there, but somebody grabbed my hand. It was Olga. Why are you standing here? Let's go and see what happened. Can't you ever manage without me? I begged her pitifully. It shouldn't be anything serious, I hope. When it came to the scare, there was already a crowd of pioneers. Olga vigorously pushed me to the crowd and approached the crime scene. Crime scene? So, obviously someone had tried to blow up Jenda. But the attackers failed. The monument was still standing upright. What? There were only dim ash traces on the pedestal. Well, who did this? She looked over the crowd of pioneers. Surely it wasn't done by an organized session. These guys all came here just to look at what happened. I noticed Ulina and Alyssa in the crowd, and it looks like our camp leader noticed them too. You two, come here. He approached redundantly. Sorry. Why always me? If you think so, show me your hands, Alyssa. What's wrong with them? I looked closer. I saw that they were smeared with black. Now it's clear. What did you make a bomb with? The junior terrorists seemed to hesitate over whether or not to confess, but then blurted out proudly. Activated carbon, salt, pepper, and sulfur. Salt? What? Salt? Peter? What? It's sulfur. What exactly the monument? What did this honored man ever do to you? The fighter for the rights of... Besides, he gave me activated carbon. She pointed at me with finger. The whole square stared at me. Thoughts about the pointlessness of this act due to the small bomb size left me at that very moment. She stole it. I did nothing. Even if he gave it to you, I'm sure that Semyon would never take part in such a disgusting antisocial act. That's right, yes, exactly. I agreed. I could hardly imagine how long she would have kept on scolding Alyssa if Electronic hadn't popped out at the very moment, shouting, I found it! And everyone turned around him. He held a boot in his hand. Here. Electronic boastfully shook it over his head. It's Shurik's boot. Okay, calm down. Tell us in detail where you found it. In the forest, on the way to the old camp. Whispers ran among the pioneers. Old camp, the old camp. Are you sure? Absolutely. What's so special about this old camp? I joined in the conversation. It's nothing special, really. She stammered. One of the Sovinox legends tells the story of a young camp leader's ghost living there. She fell in love with a pioneer, but he rejected her, and so she killed herself. She committed a harakiri with a kitchen knife. Next day, that boy was hit by a bus. Ulina ran out of the crowd. Okay. Let me digest. Bus, I refrained from asking about the route number, but science doesn't acknowledge the existence of ghosts, so we have nothing to be afraid of. Anyway, somebody should go there. Suddenly, crowd started to thin out. Okay, what? Okay, wow. Okay, first of all, it's a lot of information. There was a girl living in the old camp who got, what was the thing? One of the Sovinox legends tells the story of a young camp leader's ghost. A camp leader's ghost living there. She fell in love with the pioneer, but he rejected her, and so she killed herself. She committed suicide with a kitchen knife. Next day, that boy was hit by a bus. Wow, okay. So I'm gonna assume the girl is Rena from what we heard in the episode 1, not episode 1, the day 1. And she's the camp leader. And oh wow, oh that's surprising. I remember now that the only reason I got the daydreaming flash, memory flash of Rena was because Slavia said Olga is our camp leader, and as soon as she said the word camp leader, this nightmare thing just flashed on the screen, and that makes a lot more sense now that the camp leader is dead and she killed herself. And I remember Rena, some name called Rena, and someone calling to, saying to stop doing that or something like that. I'm not sure. And the boy got hit by a bus. Okay, it's a bit surprising too. I just okay, let's continue. Let's see where this one goes. Anyway, somebody should go there. Suddenly the crowd started to thin out. Olga, it's almost night. Maybe tomorrow. I turned around and saw Slavia and Lena. What if at night something happens to him? No, today, right now. By the way, where is this place? Electronic roughly described me the directions and told me the story of the old camp. The camp leader looked at me attentively. If you think that you're the only man here. I looked around the area. Of course, Electronic was quick to flee. I still didn't want to walk in the woods alone. If you ask me, I would. God, Jesus, how many times are you gonna make me save the game over here? Okay, first of all, let's thin out chances. Alyssa, she's gonna pull out something bad with me. Uliana, she's gonna pull out a prank with me. She's gonna try to scare me. Slavia is a good choice because that's the most decent choice. But I want to progress things out with Lena because I know for certain she has something to do with Lena. Like she has something to do with it. Like she was acting weird the other day, and now she's acting more weird, I guess. Like, I don't know. I know there's something to do with Lena. And it's not just because I like her. I think I like Slavia more than I like Lena. But I want to get to the extreme end with Lena just to see what happens. So I saved it here just because I don't want to die. So go with Lena. I won't have to go there alone, will I? Olga thought for a moment. You might be right. We'll go together tomorrow. The last few minutes, I noticed that Lena had a strange look on her face, as if she wanted to say something but didn't dare to. The pioneers started to disperse, as if they had forgotten about Alyssa and the explosion. Even the leaders seemed to calm down and react. The wannabe terrorists left the square, hiding behind Uliana. We should go too. Yes. Night quickly fell on the camp. There's only one brief moment between the first rays of the setting sun till complete darkness here in the south, or maybe in this world. You don't have enough time to enjoy the variety of the sunset colors. It was too early to go to the bed, but the leader confidently walked to a cabin as if mentally dragging me with her. Olga, I'll take a little walk, okay? She looked at me intently but didn't find any reason to object, shrugged her shoulders, and kept walking. I went back to the square. I didn't really want to look closely at the trivial damage done to the Jinto statue. It was at the exact center of the camp. If you don't know where to go, you should start from there. I sat on the bench and looked at the west, and I wondered if Earth here revolves on its axis as it should. Rotates. Revolves around the sun, rotates around its own axis. So, or whether there was an actual north or south, it's hard to say. At this time, I didn't have any ideas on how to check the fundamental laws of nature. Hi, Lena appeared next to me as if from nowhere. Hi, can't sleep? She looked at me in surprise. Well, yes, it is still early. May I sit? Yeah, of course, sit down. I moved over a little. Saying a little was in fact an understatement. I actually shifted myself to the end of the bench. Thanks. Lena sat and looked at the sky as if she'd forgotten about me. It's sad. It is sad that Shurik disappeared. Yes, things aren't too good. She was as calm as usual, keeping silent most of the time, blushed and felt embarrassed only when she had to speak or do something. That same silence, which could be seen as awkward by many people, including myself, was quite natural for her. I could hardly imagine Lena making an effort to carefully choose the right words to start a conversation or make a good remark, trying not to look stupid or alternatively trying not to look as rude as Alyssa. I just wasn't able to compare her to anyone. She was just content with being herself. Does that mean that my attempts to start a conversation with her could be seen as rude? That the expression become friends could be interpreted as an intrusion into her private life? But something in this girl attracted me. Yeah, exactly, same here. Maybe it was her mysteriousness, exactly. And she certainly wasn't lacking in appearance or feminine charms. Don't mention that. I didn't have an answer for that. And that's why I still hadn't been openly accused of being annoying. I'm sure it'll be found. How can you escape from a submarine? Lena didn't seem to appreciate the joke. This camp must seem like a large submarine to me only. I hope so. Tomorrow Olga will call the police. They'll find him for sure. And what if during the night? Her expression grew sad. What if something happens to him? Alone at night in the forest, anything could happen. He must be lonely. No one forced him to go there. What if he just got lost? You shouldn't go walking into the forest alone. You don't have any pity for him at all. Shurik may be sitting there all alone. Of course I pity him. I felt ashamed. In any case, Lena was right. A person was missing. Anything could happen during the night. We aren't seriously going to go search for him now, are we? She didn't reply, still looking somewhere far away, where the last rays of the sun shined over the tops of the old trees as if trying to leave a bit of its warmth with the people. Do you really think that roaming around the forest in the dark is a good idea? Probably not. For some reason, I was sure that was exactly what she thought. Recently, I seemed to be starting to understand Lena even without words more often, and she seemed to be influencing me psychologically, making me agree with her. Lena's silence was more informative than any chatter or attempts at persuasion. They looked for him during the day already. Everywhere? She stopped watching the sunset and looked at me. I don't know, I think everywhere. What about the old camp? For the first time, her words sounded self assured and not vague or indifferent. Where is it? I have no idea. Electronic told us. Well, if you trust him, I grinned stupidly, but Lena kept looking at me seriously. Sure, if it's not too far. So, you do want to go? Of course I don't, but we can if it's just there and back quickly. Okay. Lena smiled and gave me a flashlight, which appeared from nowhere. Yes, that will be useful. Out of nowhere. Does this mean she'd prepared beforehand and nothing was up to me? I think so, yeah. I said as if doomed, and I think she was very, very interested to going to the old camp, and it has something to do with that. That's why I chose Lena, and that's why I'm just going forward with the Lena storyline. I said as if as if doomed, and headed to the forest with her. Night fell on the camp. We walked slowly. Lena was next to me, near but not too close. It was strange, but it looked like she wasn't afraid of anything. Moreover, she didn't seem to be bothered much about what we were doing, as if she weren't walking in the forest at night but just watching a movie with other people playing leading roles. Actually, Necrotic said that the old camp was not too far, and if we walked straight to it, then it would be hard to get lost. After a few minutes, I was completely unsure that we were walking straight, and after a few more, it started to seem that it would be a miracle for us even to get out of here. But I didn't want to lose face before Lena, so I tried to walk cheerfully. The forest was full of silent, flickering shadows and gleaming moonbeams. The grass quietly rustled under our feet, and the branches rustled over our heads. Old oaks stood next to young birches. Large mushrooms emerged from under the latter, as if taking off their large hats in salute. On any other day, or rather at any other time of the day, it would have looked really beautiful. It may be safe at night too, but nevertheless I shuddered at each gust of wind. Look! Lena pointed forward. I rubbed my eyes and saw a gap between the trees. Holy shit, that's not an old camp. What? That looks like a cabin from Resident Evil 8. The Revenge of the Forgotten Witch or something. Wow, that is not a camp. In a minute, we were in a rather large clearing. In the middle of it stood a building, which looked like a village school or a kindergarten. Yeah, it kind of looks like a kindergarten. I'm not sure of. Yeah, village school. Yeah, now I see it. The paint was falling off the walls. There were several holes in the roof, like the aftermath of a bombing, and the glassless windows looked at us as sadly and a little threateningly. It was not a very pleasant sight. I couldn't remember how I'd imagined this place a moment ago. It was like all the images had been erased from my memory, replaced by this depressing graveyard view. Well, it's creepy. Wow, that face is not normal. Lena was still standing silently, but a natural expression of fright appeared on her face. Do you think he's in there? I have no idea. If I was Shurik, then a haunted house would be the last place I'd hide in. Shall we go? I didn't manage to answer. The moon appeared from behind the clouds and illuminated the clearing with new colors. Actually, in one color, the white of the grave. I could see more clearly the distant trees, the mist shrouding them. It felt like the temperature dropped several degrees, making me shiver. Are you afraid? Lena asked calmly. Honestly, she smiled almost imperceptibly and took my hand. It would have caused a storm of emotions in another situation, but at the time it felt like a basic necessity. We slowly walked to the building. Oh god. Walking to the playground, I pushed a merry-go-round, causing it to creak nastily as if it made half a turn. Lena shivered and grasped my hand tighter. Sorry, I probably just remembered my childhood. Do you like merry-go-rounds? Yes, actually. I don't know, I don't remember. Probably all the children like them. I didn't like them. Why? I got dizzy when I rode them. No wonder if you spin too fast. I liked swings more. Well, you can get dizzy on the swing as well. But why would you? It's the same thing with the fucking merry-go-round. What? The conversation had distracted me a little and I stopped worrying myself about everything. About Shurik, about our night trip, about Lena. After all, this world is not so alien. Finally, we reached the doors. Wow, the inside of the old camp building reminded me of a kindergarten, the one I attended in my childhood. At first glance, even the room arrangement was the same. Shurik. Grave-like silence replied to us. Even the wind outside had calmed down. Okay, so they shouted for Shurik. Looks like nobody's here. We should check anyway. Lena's courage still didn't cease to surprise me. Or should I say her lack of normal self-preservation instincts didn't. I don't know if this behavior is strange for this girl or not. It is completely strange. Like, she was so scared at the first time when we were supposed to walk for the ball dance and stuff, and now she's not scared at all. Like, I can say you can build a confidence because, a lot of girls like to do that. Like, they will, be comfortable with a with someone, not just a man, just any other person, like even with a girl, like they'll be comfortable and they will know that no matter what, I am safe with this person and I have nothing to be afraid of. Maybe that is what she is feeling right now. I hope so, or I don't want her to turn into a witch and just bite me off. Let's do it. Okay. We thoroughly examined all the rooms of the old camp. I even inspected the attic. There were signs that people had visited this place everywhere: newspapers, empty bottles, and other garbage, but there was no sign of Shurik. There were newspapers. Couldn't you just read the date and time? And wow. What should we do next? I have no idea. Lena sat on the steps and stared at her feet. I think we should go back, I began carefully. It's late and can just two of us really search the entire forest for him? You may be right. She looked sad and her expression let me know that the search was not over for yet. Well, I am. I waved my hands in resignation and sat next to her. We should think about the worst outcome. Are you saying? No, but are there any wild animals around? I doubt it. Lena calmed down at once. He may be sleeping somewhere. He'll wake up in the morning and return to the camp. Yes, of course. I just jumped at my feet and started walking in circles around the hall. I really wanted to leave this place to get out from the forest, but it was as if Lena's behavior was keeping me here. I wanted to go on trying to pursue her. But then I noticed something on the floor. It was a trapdoor. There were little heaps of garbage and dust around it. It must have been opened recently. Look. You think Shurik is there? Lena squatted and carefully pulled on the hatch's handle. It may not be Shurik, but someone surely used it recently. I had already regretted finding that damn gate to hell. Let's check it out. Oh wow, this noise. The trapdoor wasn't very happy, so you could open it without much effort. I directed the flashlight into it and saw a ladder going down a couple of meters. Looks like a cellar. Let's go down. I looked at Lena for a few moments, trying to understand what was on her mind. Did she have a craving for adventure like Uliana? So, where is her youthful spirit then? Or maybe she just went a bit nuts. Lena didn't seem like a crazy person. But anyway, who even said she really is human and you can evaluate her with human behavioral logic. The thought should have scared me, but somehow I didn't pay it any attention among the millions of other thoughts. Just a second. Never mind. Okay. Oh god, wow, what is this? This is like a war thing. What is it called? It's a stronghold. This looks like a stronghold. I climbed down and looked around. Everything is okay. After I made sure that there was nothing to be afraid of, I called Lena. We stood in the long corridor, which certainly wasn't a cellar. Its architecture more resembled KGB dungeons or a subway maintenance tunnel. I don't know which would be better. There were countless wires along the wall. Is this the wire? I don't think it's a wire, it's a hook thing. Or it is a wire. Or is it a wire? I don't know. It just looks very weird over here. Oh, do you mean this one? Oh, wow. It's really stupid of me. There's thick wires. There were countless wires around the walls, fastened by metal hooks. Yeah, thank you. I should have read it completely before, making a comment. There were lamps under the ceiling, covered by rusted shades. Crumbled concrete crunched under our feet unpleasantly. Shall we go? Lena, without any emotion. Where to? There? Well, yes. What if Shurik is there? What would he be doing there? In any case, I wasn't really able to refuse it today, so we forgot about our fear and headed into the darkness. Oh god. Lena walked next to me, holding my hand. She's not holding a hand, or is she holding a hand? She's not holding a hand. Sorry. The silence of the dungeon was interrupted only by the sound of our steps and water dripping from the ceiling. We moved forward slowly, maybe too slowly. I suddenly felt a surge of claustrophobia. I gritted my teeth and squeezed the torch loosened my grip at once, fearful of breaking our only source of light. Lena kept silence, and the silence seemed louder than any words. I started to fear. Say something. Door. What? There's a door. She pointed forward. God, what is this? We came to a massive metal door with a biohazard sign. Looks like a bomb shelter. Yes, I'd heard something about it. Why is it here? I have no idea. Maybe because of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Cuban. I estimated the approximate time of constructing the camp. Makes sense. However, building a bomb shelter here was like building an airport at Faggot in North Northumberland, or Lacock in Wiltshire in the UK. Are these real places? What? It wasn't deep enough and too far from civilization. The door wheel duly creaked. I had to push it with all my strength before it turned a couple of times. I made up my mind and opened the door with difficulty. We entered the room which seemed to be the main living quarters. There were some beds, cases, some scientific equipment. They had been thoroughly prepared for a nuclear apocalypse. We didn't find any signs of Shurik here though. Look, Lena was holding a flare gun and smiling. Why would I need it? To fight monsters. There are no monsters here. At least I wanted to believe that. If you say so, I guarantee it. I didn't want to upset her, so I tucked the flare gun into my belt. It might come in handy. We thoroughly searched the room once again. There were two exits. The first was a door we had entered, and the other one was another door exactly the same in the left wall. Do you mean over here somewhere? Oh wait, this one. For a moment I felt excitement, the urge to reach the end of this labyrinth and to learn what prize awaited me there. However, this surely wasn't a computer game and there is no option to save. So that's it. Oh my god, that is such a clever way to let me know when to save the game. Thank you. Maybe with this, Lena offered me a rather big crowbar. No, I'll give it a try without it first. However, the door didn't want to punch. It only creaked nastily, and the door wheel didn't turn a millimeter. Okay, give it to me. It was too easy with the crowbar. Oh shit. In the end, the obstacle collapsed, hitting the floor loudly. The hinges were rusted completely through. I pointed a flashlight into the passageway. There was a corridor just like the one we had come here through. Why is the light on? Like someone must be here if the light is on. Let's go. And it was like Lena was constantly driving me on. Where are you rushing to? Me? I'm not. She blushed in confusion. Again, why should I make of her? What should I make of her? First she doesn't fear a thing, then she gets lost after a word. You look like you don't fear anything. I don't know, what should I fear? You'll protect me anyway, she added barely audibly. So Lena is counting on me. She believes in me no matter what. See, that's the thing. They do believe in the person they're with, that they're gonna protect them. Not just females, any male would do that. Any human being would do that. It's possible, stupid, naive, but possible. I knew clearly that I couldn't protect anyone, even myself. Nothing is up to me in this world. The powers that brought me here could do anything. That didn't exactly mean that inevitable death awaited me in the end of the tunnel. It could be lying in wait anywhere in this camp. Let's go. The same image. I tried to walk faster, but Lena seemed to not be bothered by that, and she easily kept pace with me. This corridor was exactly the same as the previous one in every last detail. There's nothing shocking about it, but at some point I got the feeling that we were walking in circles. The flashlight in my hand started to tremble visibly. The spot of light jumped all over the walls and the floor, and suddenly it lit up a rather big hole. The hole wasn't too deep, and down below we could see rails. What's down there? Looks like a mine. Shall we have a look? Why not go further along the corridor? I don't know, I think we should go down there. I estimated the height. It would be possible to pull ourselves out. Okay, let's check it out. Holy shit, dude. I jumped down in the hole and helped Lena to get down. It really was a mine. I wonder what they could have mined here. What minerals are there in this area? I don't know. Well, yeah, stupid question. Looks like there are none now. We headed into the darkness. It was hard to walk because I couldn't choose where I trod. wobbly wooden planks or uneven ground. I wasn't able to stick closer to the walls either. The narrowness of the tunnel forced us to stay between the rails, and I didn't want to let go of Lena's hand. Oh, that's a good idea. Finally, we reached a fork. Just great. Where should we go? Where? I'm not certain that we'll be able to get out of here at all, especially if we're going to play Pac-Man. Play what? Never mind, we'll get lost. So Pac-Man isn't a thing. Good to know. What if there is an exit too? There may be one, and if there isn't, so should we go back? I bit my lip till it bled and yelled as loud as I could. Shorik! The loud echo rebounded from every direction at once. Soil even fell from the ceiling in some places. See? Then I will go alone. What? I grinned stupidly. Alone? Where to? We must find Shorik. He may be. Lena blushed at once and stared at the ground. No, that won't do. If we go together. Okay, then let's go. She smiled and took my hand. How does she manage that? But first we should... I took a sharp stone from the ground and scratched a cross on one of the beams which supported the wall. Now we will know where we started. That's a good idea. It's saying to go left, but then I want to go right. But then again, I don't know what's right, so let's go right. It seems that there is nothing fork in the road. What? It seems that there is another fork in the road. Wow! What? Finally, the tunnel had led us into a hall with a high ceiling. Although it hardly could be called a hall, it seemed something was mined here. Maybe coal or gold. The walls had been cut by pickaxes or pneumatic drills. This place was pitch black, so our only salvation was this flashlight. If it breaks, it's unlikely we'll never get out of here. I noticed a red piece of cloth in its light. It was a pioneer neckerchief. Shorik was obviously here somewhere. Shorik, bye. Shorik. Only echoes. Amswordus, thank you. He must not be too far away since we found the scarf here. Frankly speaking, I was mostly wondering where here actually was. Where could he have gone from here? There was no other exits from this room. Certainly it was possible that there were other places in these tunnels we hadn't visited yet. That means we have to keep searching for him. Seems that there was another fork in the road. Is it at the beginning? Am I at the beginning? Let's go right. And there is another fork in the road. Let's go another right. It seems there's another fork on the right, and now let's go left. Should I draw a map of it? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't want to get lost of it. It's better if I'm gonna be very cautious about it. Because I have the book over here, and there's a pen. Here goes nothing. Okay, here we go. Let's start from here. We went right, and a bit right. So we started somewhere. Then we took a right, another right, and here we found the red scarf. Okay, now let's go right. Okay, now we are right, and we are at this position. And now let's take... It seems that there is another fork in the road. Let's take another right. Now we're at this position, and it seems now let's go left. Now we're at another position. It seems there's another fork. Okay, I'm gonna circle back, so I'm gonna go right. It seems there was another... Is it the right though? Yeah, it is the right. Yeah, now I'm at this location. It seems another fork in the road. Now rather than going right, which is gonna make me... I'm just gonna go left, which is gonna take me over at this place. And now I can go right. Seems that there's another fork in the road. I took the right, and now I'm at here, and now I want to go left. I'm going completely zigzag. Oh, we came to some kind of miners camp. Okay, so now we are here. Okay, that's what I know for sure. Um, okay, now we came to some kind of miners camp. Picks and helmets everywhere. A rusty wagon stood in the corner. All the items were so old they dated from the beginning of the 20th century rather than the middle. So this really is a mine. Which means I could wander around here for ages without finding a way out. No, don't worry, I got this. But I sensed that exit was somewhere nearby, so we went further. Oh god, this could be the mine. It seems there's another fork in the road. Oh god, please. I'm gonna take a right. I took a right, and now I'm at this position, and now the place where we had begun. Impossible. Freaking possible. So we took a wrong turn somewhere. Let's keep on searching. Let's go. Okay, now I'm gonna do this very carefully, okay? I need a whole page. I can't do this on the corner of a page. Let's start in the middle of the page at this point. Okay, here we go. Let's go left. Okay, we took the left and now we're in another junction. Now it seems that there is another fork in the road. Now let's go another left. We were here just a few minutes ago. Okay, great. Now I know where we were before we got here. Seems that there's another fork on the road. Okay, now I don't want to take another left because that will just lead me back to where I was. So I'm gonna take a right from here. I took a right and now I'm at this position. And now I can go and take another left. It seems there's another fork in the road. And now I'm gonna take a right. What if I take another right over here? Okay, I took another right. And now I would want to go left. It seems that there's another fork in the road. Did I take a left? Yeah, I took a left. And now I would want to go right. Holy Jesus, man. Now I would want to go left. We had been here before. Holy shit, it seems that there's another fork in the road. If I go right, if I go left, no, if I go right, I don't know where this starts when the thing ends that I've been here before. I don't know what it ends up to be. It seems that there's another fork in the road. I'm gonna go and take a right. It seems that there's another fork in the road. I'm gonna go and take a left from it. I'm just gonna keep doing this left and right forever. Go right. Oh shit, around the next turn the wooden door appeared in the light. At least it's something. What? At least it's not in the fork. What's in there? We don't have any choice but to check it out. Okay, I strongly pulled the handle and opened the door. There was a room behind it, which might be one of the maintenance rooms for the bomb shelter. Empty bottles and cigarette butts were scattered everywhere. The walls were all covered with scribbles. So that means there is another exit from here. I didn't want to believe that the people who had left all that had come the same way as we did. Sadly, Shurik wasn't here. Oh. I slid down the wall on the floor. We must have been everywhere now. Not everywhere. Lena pointed at the door in the corner. It looked similar to the one leading in the bomb shelter. There probably should be an exit, as you said. Shall we go? Let's rest for a moment. Okay. Lena sat next to me, very close, and took my hand. It's alright. What do you mean? That we haven't found Shurik? We should think about getting out ourselves. We'll get out. Yes, I probably remember the way. Or at least I thought that I remembered it. No, I did. I'm not afraid at all. She suddenly said after a short pause. That's good. Because I am with you. Suddenly there came a noise from behind the door to the mine. I jumped up at once and started looking for something I could use as a weapon. The noise of heavy footsteps. Couldn't you just carry the crowbar? Of heavy footsteps was getting closer. Finally the door opened and Shurik appeared from behind it. In a silence I froze, staring at him. There you are. Don't you think you can hide from me? What? Did you think I wouldn't find you? But I did. He was insane, that was for sure. His face was distorted by a scary grimace. His eyes gleamed behind the glasses. The missing pioneer held a metal rod in his hand. Are you mad? It's us. Yeah, I can see it's you. He took a couple of steps towards us, and instinctively shielded Lena. Do you think you could make a fool of me, leading me here and there, to the left and to the right, to the left, to the right, and I followed. He raised the metal rod. Everything after that was like it happened in slow motion. Shurik charging at us, me pushing Lena out of the way, the rod slowly arcing towards my head. My hand with the flashlight going up. Following all of that, complete darkness, rapid breathing, blood hammering in my temples, silence, dreadful, heavy silence merging with the darkness. I moved my hand trying to find the wall when I felt someone's touch. Don't be afraid. I heard a familiar voice near me. Where are you, you damn lunatic? I shouted. He left. Which way did he go? Where to? Lena's voice didn't sound too calm, but certainly it didn't sound like it should in such circumstances. Calm down. She hugged me tenderly and pressed her body against mine. I tried to gather my senses to recover my breath to adapt to the darkness. What should we do next? You have a gun. Well, who do I shoot? It's loaded with a flare. She might be right. I took the gun from my belt, pointed it to the side and fired. The room was illuminated by a bright red light. The flare lying on the corner looked like a firework or a sparkler. Let's go quickly. It won't burn for too long. Where to? Lena pointed to the second door. It wasn't hard to open it, and we headed into the darkness. Whoa, what is this? Where is the story even going for? The flare burned more dimly with every second. I stumbled with every step, even fell down a couple of times, but didn't slow my pace. If it goes out. Finally we saw light in front of us and came to a ladder leading to a grating in the ceiling. The flare hissed and went out. Thank God! It turned out that we were right under the statue of Chenda. The grating was rather sturdy, but we managed to open it after breaking the bolts with the flashlight. After reaching the surface, I collapsed on the grass, exhausted. That was terrible. Lena sat next to me. Just dreadful. But the time I didn't give a damn about this world, the camp, the 14 bus, or my previous life. The strangest and nastiest thing was that there was nothing supernatural in these events. Shurik just went crazy, insane. Nothing strange about it. I would have too in this position. Lena patted my hair tenderly and smiled. It's all over now. I don't know. There is a crazy pioneer in the woods. You could even say a maniac killer. I think he's gone. It's gonna be alright. Alright? What? One of your band camp or whatever camp members has gone missing. Now he's gone crazy and he's about to kill me, and you say it's gonna be alright? I'm not sure about that. The most important thing is that we are okay. Wow, a few minutes before you were worried about him, and now you're worried about us. This is going really bad. She still smiled. How can you be so calm? I told you before that I have nothing to be afraid of when I am with you. Indeed, I might have saved Lena and myself back there, but it was only by chance, nothing more. If Shurik had been swifter or crazier, thanks for the compliment. You're welcome. Though we still should have stayed here in the first place. You're probably right, she said calmly. I got really sleepy because of stress, of exhaustion, of how late at night it was. I should go to sleep, but I'd have to stand up and walk to the leader's cabin. I wasn't ready for that. My eyes closed just for a moment. Stars looked down at me from the sky. Thousands of them, even millions. Now the light didn't seem to be so distant and cold. On the contrary, they twinkled to me as if whispering among themselves, telling merry Merry fairy tales in eager competition. About a galaxy far, far away and violet fluffy piglets. About mysterious asteroid belts where ships have disappeared. About a fearless starship captain and his brave crew. About exceptional treasures and unreachable peaks of a planet on the edge of the universe. I wonder, is that a dream? I lifted myself and little I realized that my head was in Lena's lap. Did I sleep long? I asked in confusion, but didn't rush to get up. I don't know. I don't have a watch. She laughed. Approximately, well, maybe 20 minutes. That's okay then. I lay down again, feeling nice and calm, like never before. The event of the night were becoming distant, as if I was starting to forget them. Like the story, the stars were telling me. Shurik has come back. What? I jumped on my feet instantly. There he is, sleeping on the bench. Lena pointed at the benches in surprise. And what are you? You were sleeping so peacefully that I didn't want to wake you up. I felt a shiver of fear because such behavior was not just strange. It was not just appropriate. It scared me more than Shurik's insanity in the dungeon. A lunatic who half an hour ago tried to kill us arrives, lies on a nearby bench and falls asleep, and she just sits there? Nothing to worry about. He just seemed to be a little off. Lena got confused and blushed. He walked unsteadily and didn't look towards us as if I'd made a noise. And if I'd made a noise, she's about to cry. Okay, don't worry. There was some logic to her words. She probably did the right thing. In any case, we had to interrogate Shurik thoroughly. I jumped up, walked quickly to the bench he was sleeping on, and slapped him. Ouch! He woke up at once. What the hell? What are you doing, you bastard? What? Shurik stared at me with a scared and moreover sane look. What was that all about down there? What? Where? In the dungeon, in the mine, in the bomb shelter. Did you go completely nuts? I don't understand you. He looked around. Why am I here? And where should you be in your opinion? Oh wait, I know. You should be in an asylum. I went to the old camp in the morning for the spare parts. Then, don't you remember anything after that? Oh god, this is going bad. Lena asked after walking. I don't know why I was drawing this stupid map on here. I thought this would, help me later on, but whatever, frick it. Lena asked after walking up to us. Yes, and I don't pretend. I said calmly and sat next to him. It really looked like he wasn't lying though. I don't understand anything. It's unscientific. Who cares? Don't think that I trust you. Memory loss can't occur just. Shurik talked to himself, mumbled something, not paying us any attention. Let's go, Lena said quietly. Shall we just leave him here? He's not in his right mind. He has to sleep. It's dangerous to leave this psycho alone. He's not psycho, come on, Simeon. He may strangle electronic with an induction coil in the night. I was not going to do that. It's going to be alright, trust me. I had no reason not to trust her. However, I didn't have any reason to trust her either. That's a good point. On the other hand, who cares now? I wanted to fall asleep as quickly as possible. Okay. We left Shurik, who was still mumbling something to himself. You're here? What, where? I have to go further on. Lena smiled. I hadn't thought about anything all the way here, just followed her, and hadn't noticed that we'd come to Olga's cabin. Yes, thank you for today. There's nothing to thank me for. It's just good that we came back alive. We'll see what Shurik has to say tomorrow. Thanks anyway, she said mysteriously and averted her eyes. You're welcome. Well, it's time for me to go. Lena quickly turned around and walked quickly in the direction of her cabin. I suddenly had a thought that something about that was a bit off, not quite right. After all that had happened, it's time for me to go. It usually goes differently in such situations, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It definitely does. I have no idea what I expected though. Exhaustion hit me again. Walking with difficulty, I entered the cabin. The leader was sitting on my bed. Semyon. She started to talk sadly. Where have you been? Well, I prepared for a scolding. I didn't expect that reaction. I went to look for Shurik. Alone? No, with Lena. So, what about Shurik? It looks like Olga was really worried about the fate of the lost pioneer. What's so strange about that? The reader can treat her work lightly, but it doesn't mean that she's a heartless person. Is okay as he could be in such a situation. That's good. Go to sleep now. Wait, but She turned the light out quickly, showing that the conversation is over, but and I couldn't ask anything. So should I ask why she didn't scold me? Oh, everything is so weird. I'm so confused. There's a lot of questions. Ah! I hope everything gets answered by the end of it. So before I end the stream, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll just drink some water. I'm not gonna end the stream that quickly. I'll just play for a little bit, maybe till day five. I think day five is about to pop up. So yeah, be right back. back. Okay, if you hear some fan noise, just ignore that. I'm getting real sweaty here because this is just too much heat for me. Not Lena. I'm talking about the game. What happened today? My thoughts slowed their pace before stopping completely. I'm gonna have a nightmare, am I not? No, no nightmare. What? We ran with the last of our strength, like those who run for their precious lives, like a doomed person knowing that there is no hope to save his life. We still fight the inevitable. I'll still fight the inevitable and his own. I barely managed to close the heavy metal door behind me. I have no idea how deep this bomb shelter is or if it's able to withstand a nuclear blast, but we have no other place to hide. She gripped my hand tight. Don't be afraid. Bits of the ceiling were falling and the walls were shaking. I was prepared for the worst, but death is the kind of thing that you can't ever be prepared for. But suddenly, complete silence fell. It rang even louder than the explosion. Maybe it's time to say goodbye. She was whimpering. I wanted to comfort her somehow, but realized that there is nothing that I could do. Yes, I. Oh, horrible bang almost split my eardrums. It seemed that I'm under a piece of collapsed ceiling, but I don't feel my pain. All I want is to not let her go. God. I woke up in a cold sweat, short of breath and gasping for air. It took me some time to come to my senses. It was a dream. It was just a dream. My questioning mind, however, refused to believe it. Oh, I've gibberish. I have a very hard feeling that this is foreshadowing. Like all that's happening in the nightmare, it's all just foreshadowing. I believe so. But who was that girl with me there? I didn't want to let go of her hand so desperately. So that depends on whom I progress in the game. So in my case, it's going to be Lena somehow. Sadly, I couldn't recall her at all. The clocks were showing a few minutes past 10. I slowly came to my senses as reality started to stake out its claim on my mind, and my stomach foully growled. Alright, war is war, but lunch should be served in due time. It turned out that Olga wasn't here. She must have decided not to wake me up. Well, thanks. Thanks go out to our camp leader for this. After yesterday's adventures, I had to have a rest. Last night was remain a blurry memory which I really didn't want to think about. It's now more important to find something to eat and to wash myself. Exactly. Because a pioneer must always be clean and tidy. Oh, it's funny you remember that. Though I would agree with this principle even if I wasn't a pioneer. And as a matter of fact, I'm not. On my way to the washstands, I met Electronic. He started to wave his hands and ran up to me. Good morning. Thank you for finding Shurik. Without him, I don't even... It's nothing. I was a bit embarrassed. No, really, don't be so shy. The country must be proud of its heroes. And what about Shurik? How did he look this morning? Is he alright? After yesterday's craziness, I thought such a question was completely valid. Yes, absolutely. The only thing is that he can't remember anything. Can't he? I wasn't surprised at all. He says that he went to the abandoned camp yesterday and then woke up in his bed in the morning. I mean, he remembers nothing between those two events. I see. Right then. You missed breakfast, right? Come to our club. We'll feed you. I have something special. Electronic smiled in a conspirational way. Thanks, I'll come, probably. I had to wash myself first anyway. I'll be waiting. He waved at me and left to carry out his own business. There was nobody near the washstands. The water turned out surprisingly warm today. It's been warmed up already, I guess. Having my face washed, I realized that it wouldn't be easy to wash the rest of my body here. Maybe I should go to the showers. But since there is nobody here, I turned the tap on in such a way so water strayed parallel to the ground and started to take off my clothes. What? And what if somebody sees me? Exactly. Well, I'll rinse and dry myself quickly and put on my clothes. The water, which seemed warm on my hands and face, felt bone chilly cold on my body. The whole washing process took no longer than 10 seconds and I started to wipe myself quickly afterwards. But I didn't manage to finish anyway. There were voices coming in from the direction of the footpath. The only solution came to me in a split second. I grabbed my clothes and dashed into the bushes. A moment later, Alyssa and Olina appeared near the washstands. You could have done it by yourself. Why did you bring me here? Is it a big deal for you? Fine, let me. I peered at them and noticed that they were both covered in red paint. What a surprise. I wonder how they managed that. Alyssa opened the valve and started to rub Oleana's back. Don't show me the imagery. Take off your bra. What if somebody sees us? What? Is there anything to see? She... Oh, no, okay. I was so afraid this something was gonna show up on the screen. Thank you, Soviet Games, for keeping it PG. It was true that there wasn't much to look at, but even so I stared at the girls narrowly. It was a pity that they were standing with their backs to me. A minute later, Alyssa managed to wash off all the paint. I'm done. Thanks. You're welcome. Why would they go to the shower? Why wouldn't they go to the shower? Why wouldn't they go to the showers? Well, maybe somebody might have seen them. So, listen, let me try on yours. She pointed at Alyssa's bras. It wouldn't fit you for sure. Well, I'd like to try anyway, but out here, there's nobody here, right? When I looked my way and smiled, actually, I was absolutely sure she couldn't see me in those bushes, but enough with this nonsense. Olina wasn't listening to her anymore and grabbed Alyssa's bra with a dexterous move instead. Now I have to confess, I had something to look at. I watched the two girls chase one another around the washstands with bated breath. As I covered her breasts with her hands, and so I could barely see anything at all. I leaned forward and stumbled over a stone, falling out of the bushes. You had to do that. Alyssa and Olina stood frozen, staring at me. I tried to cover my nudity with my guilty face. The tableau lasted for a few seconds, and Alyssa took her shirt and somehow put it on in an instant. You! Her face gone red to purple. It looked like she would explode in the nuclear blast in a second. The only thing I wanted was to disintegrate into atoms and to get as far from the epicenter as possible. He was sitting there the whole time, so she noticed me then. You and I accidentally, if you know what I mean. Unless she just at me. I was gonna go bad. Covering my butt with one hand and holding my clothes with the other, I ran in the woods. It seemed the best solution to me at the time, as showing up naked in the middle of the camp, accompanied by two screaming girls, wasn't a good idea. I ran without looking back. I stopped a few minutes later to catch my breath. It seemed that there was no pursuit, so I managed to save myself, but at the cost of lace-rated, scratched and bleeding feet, and I had no time to put on my boots. I sat on a tree stump and sighed. Sometime later, having dressed already, I left the forest. I need to decide what to do next. My feet are hurting, and so I should go straight to infirmary. But on the other hand, my stomach isn't going to wait either. Maybe I should accept Electronic's invitation, or head to the canteen in the hope of finding something left to eat here. Let's first go to the infirmary. I always took. Why is it? It's bugging me. I always took good care of my health, and even better care at the times when something starts to hurt badly. So without hesitation, I made my way to the infirmary. But right in front of the door, put there, please. The door, I stopped as if some mysterious force was holding me. I had absolutely no desire to face the camp nurse without an urgent need, but on the other hand, I almost did a great deed yesterday defending the infirmary, so in some sense, she owed me. I took heart and opened the door. Hi, Pioneer. Hello. I'm sorry that I was so late yesterday. It wasn't a problem at all. Why have you come? Are you sick? She smiled slyly. Well, I got off my feet a bit. You got a bit what? My feet. I gave a stupid answer. Okay, show me. I sat on the couch and took off my boots. How did you manage that? I'd better keep silent about what happened in the washstands. Okay, never mind. Wait a second. She rummaged into the drawer and took out a big red pill with a cross-shaped notch from a vial. And what is that for? I was disturbed by the size of the pill and in its strange shape. They are broken in halves usually and not in quarters. This is to make the amputation of your legs unnecessary. What? Oh god, oh god. Take this away, take this away. I don't want to show this thing. Oh, how do I? God damn it. I can't show this. What? Okay, for a second, let's just keep it there. Okay? Nothing, don't be afraid, Pioneer. We'll take it and it will be alright. And this pill, why does it look like that? That's for the patients who refuse to take medicines perorally. We screw it into them with a screwdriver then. I didn't dare to ask where they were being screwed in actually, and now tried to bear it a bit. She took a big pack of cotton wool, wrapped a bud with it, and applied plenty of iodine to it. I braced myself for the torments of hell. I moaned quietly, but my trust in this method of disinfection was much higher than the odd pill, so I had to withstand this burning. Now it's done. I put on my boots and tried to walk. Okay, now this is probably safe to show. But the sharp pain was gone. Thank you. Don't mention it. Drop it any time. Pioneer. God, that was horrifying. I said goodbye and left the infirmary. My health problem was solved. It's the right time to eat now. The day has just started and I've gone through so many things already. But I did it and now I have legitimate grounds to fill myself up. Today I wasn't the last one, so I could choose a free table. Lunch included pea soup and mashed potatoes with fish. It was a major disappointment to me as I don't eat fish in any form and hence will get fewer calories than usual. Soon Slavia and Lena came to my table. Can we? She smiled nicely. Hey, yeah, sure. I stood up and pulled out a chair for her. Please. Who was that? Was it Slavia? Yeah. Please, I was in an excellent mood at that moment. Enjoy your meal. Saying that, Lena began staring at me and continued for some time, but then after realizing how odd she looked, switched to her plate. You too. Do you have any plans for today, Semyon? Nope. I gave her an honest answer as I indeed had no plans. Except for searching for answers, but that was more like a global goal. Yeah, that is. That is like an ultimate goal. Do you want to take a boat ride to the island with us? The island? I think I've seen it from the pier. For what? Olga asked us to gather some strawberries. There are a lot of strawberries there and they are so delicious. I could imagine the taste without even eating it, just by looking at Slavia's face. Strawberries? And what are those for? I don't know, but it's indeed a great idea. Well, indeed it is. Moreover, I haven't been to the island yet. Yeah, sure. Within minutes, we were already standing at the pier. Well, here is the boat. Hang on, I'll go and fetch the paddles now. I was left face to face with Lena. Do you like strawberries? Well, not really, but they're tasty. Lena smiled. I see. I didn't know what to say next, how to continue the conversation. If Slavia didn't come back, we could probably sit here till the evening without saying a word. Here you go. She handed me a pair of hefty paddles. Yeah, thanks. We got to the boat, I untied it, pushed off the shore and tried to start paddling. And where exactly are we heading to? Oh, right there. She pointed her fingers at the island. That island is named the closest one. I wonder what captain gave it such an original name. Well, the island is indeed close to the shore. Aye, captain. If only I'd known what was waiting for me ahead. I was an experienced oarsman. It's called an oarsman, right? I'd rowed a boat just once or twice in my entire life. It was less than half a mile to the island, but we were making our way in zigzags, thanks to my skills. By approximately the middle of the trip, my arms hurt so badly that I dropped the paddles to get some rest. Well, are there any strawberries anywhere else? I mean in more accessible places, but the tastiest ones grows there. Slavia gave me a puzzled look. Is it hard for you to row alone? Lena, unlike Slavia, understood everything straight away. Oh, it's nothing. Anyway, I couldn't let a fragile girl help me. The rest of the way I spent concentrating on staying alive while getting to the island. Slavia and Lena discussed something, but I wasn't listening. That was too much for me. At last we arrived. Completely, dude, that's like few hundred meters. That's not even much. Completely exhausted, I got out on the shore and looked at the boathouse. It seemed so far away that I felt like a first person on the moon watching the. No, that's not that far away. Well, actually, it is, but okay, it's fine. You know what? Watching the earth rise. Here you go. Slavia handed me a basket. It was a small island, barely 100 meters long, and it looked more like a birch grove in even rows of trees covering its entire surface. A calm green sea spread beneath our feet, with the wind causing lonely waves on its surface from time to time. This island looked like a lost paradise. It's no wonder that the most delicious strawberries grow just here. We've got to split up. That way we'll do the job faster. Yeah, sure. But there are only two baskets, said Lena humbly. Oh, you're right, my bad. So are we gonna split up then? Why is the game even asking me? Of course I'm gonna go with Lena. Let me go with you. Let's go. Okay, that's fine. It's a bit sad. So Slavia grabbed the second basket and ventured to the opposite side of the island. Well, let's go. Yeah. Lena smiled. Just pay attention. Don't leave a single berry behind. You too. So it was harvest time. Indeed, the strawberries here were delicious. I could probably eat them all if I didn't stop myself in time. Despite being wild grown, the berries were close to garden ones in size and had a rich red color, so it was clear that our visit here wasn't in vain. Lena followed me closely as we had only one basket for both of us. I felt like a real mushroom picker, examining each shrub and carefully pawing the trees. Well, you're much better than me, am I? Frankly, I'm not even counting them. Yeah, right you are. The basket was already half full. You must enjoy nature, right? Yeah, I do. The bright sun rays pierced the tops and blinded me for a second. I sat down on the ground and leaned against a tree. Still, it's so beautiful here. Lena sat down next to me, so close that our elbows touched. Yeah, we just sat and enjoyed the moment. It seemed like time stood still. The wind gently shook the tree leaves. Some bugs lazily hopped around the grass, and splashes of sunlight played on the faraway water surface. Lena put her head on my shoulder. That's beautiful. That looks really cute. I'm totally not jealous. I was surprised at first, but then I heard my regular breathing and thought that it's just a matter of course. Probably she felt drowsy and wanted to take a quick nap. I just sat there and didn't think of anything for a few minutes. But then words started crossing my mind with ultrasonic speed. Lena, so close, sleeping, so warm, so gentle, feelings. That's so me. I gazed at her. She had such a such a tranquil look on her face that it seemed that right now she's not here, but in some kind of a better world. I don't know what. Wait, are you holding her waist? Okay. I don't know what would have happened the next moment if I didn't hear the voice of Slavia. Simeon, Lena. I shook my head from side to side a few times to come to my senses. Lena started to wake up. She opened her eyes and gave me an empty look. Have a nice dream? Huh? Suddenly realizing that she had dozed off on leaning on my shoulder, Lena blushed. Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine. Slavia came over to us, so Lena rushed to get up. How much have you got? I sighed. That's not a lot. My basket was filled with strawberries to the brim. Well, it's enough anyway. It's time to get back. I grabbed the basket and we headed back to the boat. The way back took less time as I tried to concentrate on rowing and ignoring everything else. My only wish was to get back alive, as the first trip hadn't gone without consequences, and now my hands started to hurt after only a few sweeps of the oars. Having tied up to the boat, I fell to the ground with no energy left. Slavia and Lena leaned over me. You could have said something if it was too hard for you. Yes. Never mind, it's fine. I'll just lie here for a bit and everything will be alright. Okay, then get those baskets to Olga, please. We have something else to do. Yeah, sure. I was ready to agree with anything at the moment just so I wouldn't have to get up. Slavia put the baskets full of strawberries next to me and headed to the square, happily chatting with Lena about something. The hardest part is done anyway. That's what I thought before I got up and took the baskets. After the rowing, they felt like cement bags, even while weighing barely more than a few kilograms each. So the trip to the camp leader's cabin took much longer than usual. I had to stop every 50 meters to have a rest. Come on, it's not that bad. Once I finally made it, I put the baskets on the ground and sat on the deck chair with difficulty. Olga, Olga, I've got presents for you. There was no answer. I barely managed to get up and enter the cabin. There was nobody there. If you don't need them, then it's up to you. I lay down on the deck chair and fell asleep. What? I had a dream about a strawberry race. I was rowing a boat with my last ounces of strength, trying to escape huge berries that were chasing me. My hands were failing me, and I could barely see anything because of the sweat covering my face. Blood was hammering in my temples, but the strawberries were getting closer. They were baring their teeth at me. But wait, strawberries with teeth. Simeon? Simeon? I woke up. Olga was standing beside me, shaking my shoulder. I see you got a rich harvest, didn't you? Thanks to the girl's help. Okay, but that's not all. Seriously, I was just anticipating the lovely rest I was about to have. Do you even know what these strawberries are for? Not a clue. Or an honest confession. We'll make a cake out of them. I see. Well, that makes sense. To honor the miraculous rescue of Shurik, and it's all thanks to you. It was clear that getting the strawberries wasn't the last thing left to do. And why? Please tell me, if I'm such a hero, why do you have to organize a celebration in my name all by myself? Well, I guess so. I have an important task for you. We are missing yeast, flour, and sugar, and need it all in the canteen before dinner. And those who will make the cake can't deal with it on their own somehow. I asked pitifully. Of course they can't. All of them are busy, and you are the only one in the whole camp who does nothing. Wow, while her words were partly true, that doesn't make it any easier for me now. Moreover, those words felt like a bullet to my head. So write it down. You'll get yeast in the infirmary, flour in the library, and sugar in the clubhouse. Wait, I have no time. I'm in a hurry. Good luck. She smiled slyly and left. Of course, there are a lot of strange things in this camp, but yeast in the infirmary? Okay, I can deal with that, but flour in the library and sugar? No, it's beyond my comprehension. I spat on the floor. I don't want to, and I will not believe this. Just tell me you are pulling my leg. I would not be surprised if a crowd of fat green trolls would appear here right now beside me, with every one of them feeling obligated to laugh at me. So maybe tell me, so maybe to hell with this cake. I weighed my options for some time. No, if such a major plan of Olga fell through, I'd be in for a world of hurt. And it would complicate both my life in the camp and my search for answers, which I stopped for quite a while. It seems I have no choice. What the heck? Okay, let's go to the library first. I don't want to deal with. Or you know what? Let's just save it here. I'm just gonna save the game over here. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream right now because I have a webinar to attend. And so yeah, thank you so much for watching and thank you for joining in. I hope you enjoyed this experience of Everlasting Summer. This is not just a game. This is one of the reviews said, it's an experience, and that sure is true. I really enjoyed this game and it's really beautiful and all. I just can't, right now I don't want to stop, but then I have a webinar, so I have to stop. It's not too late, but it's late for me. I need to go. So yeah, thank you for joining in, and hopefully I will see you again tomorrow, if I'm not wrong. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow at the same time for the same game. Tomorrow we'll play for a bit longer time, okay? And I'll see you later. Bye bye.